And now we are joined by Dr. Scott Gerber of Ohio Northern University. And I guess, Scott, you would like to kind of talk about the Dobbs case that was part of the leak that overruled the Roe versus Wade case. And what do you got for us on this?
Well, I published a chapter in an edited book by Morton Marietta called SCOTUS 2022. And each year, Morgan puts together the big cases for the term. And this year, however, he wanted a chapter on the leak of the Dobbs case since it was so unusual and so traumatic. And I had written an op-ed in the National Law Journal about it. And so I was asked to write it. And so I did. And so in the piece, I just talk about the leak itself. And as everyone knows, on May 2nd of 2022, Politico literally published a draft of the Dobbs opinion. And in there, it said that Roe and Casey would be overruled, you know, the big abortion cases. And then the Chief Justice, the next day, Chief Justice Roberts announced that there would be an investigation because this was such a breach of trust and such a terrible thing for someone to do. And so the investigation concluded about a week or two ago, and now the media is just saturated with criticism of the investigation. So that's it in a nutshell.
Of course, there's a lot of speculation as to why this leak happened, and why do you think that leak was motivationally brought about?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a partisan attempt. Either, you know, someone on the right wanted to lock in Kavanaugh and Barrett because the fear was that Roberts would try to get them to uphold the Mississippi statute at issue in Dobbs, but not overrule Roe and Casey. And then the other side of it was, no, it was a leak by the left to try to galvanize the pro-choice movement to shout down the court before they actually issued the final opinion. So it's one of the two. And of course, as your viewers probably know, the investigation said we don't know who did it, right? And then, of course, the big criticism of the investigation was that it wasn't really a very good investigation. And one op-ed said that the investigation would have, quote, shamed Inspector Clouseau. And everyone knows that Inspector Clouseau was that bumbling comedian buffoon played by Peter Sellers in all the Pink Panther movies years ago.
I was looking through some of the information that you provided to me, and it's kind of a sad time to know that only about 25% or a quarter of all Americans even have any confidence right now in our Supreme Court. What does that tell us?
It tells us that the court's in trouble. And by the way, that poll was before the leak. It was before the leak and before the criticism of the investigation of the leak. And so the year before it was 36%. Then it dropped to 25%. And so the American people just feel that the Supreme Court is just another political partisan branch of government. And all that matters is who the people staffing the seats are. And if they're all Republicans, they'll do it one way. And if they're Democrat majority, they'll do it another way. When our Constitution says they're supposed to be independent and make decisions based on the facts and the law, not based on political preferences.
Dr. Scott Gerber, thank you so much for your time with us this afternoon. I look forward to our time coming up in the future. And stay right there. We've got more still ahead.